We are at the exhibition Imagine a Breath of Fresh Air, which is a collaborative project between Galeria Studio and Jindřich Chalupecký Society from Prague. It is a project that is a result of our 2 years collaboration, and it is based on a subject of future, and it's developed around it. It features artists from Czech Republic, from Poland, and also various collective and international artists.
The main subject of this exhibition is our future. Of course, there are different ways how to look into it. We were mainly concerned with the topic of ecology and the environmental crisis, which we are already facing quite clearly right now, so it will probably be a big part of our future also. Through various artistic approach, we tried to think and imagine what the future could be like.
And one of the kind of inspirational or very canonical works for us is Namjoon Paik's Fluxus Island in the Decollage Ocean, which is a very classical piece by this Fluxus member, imagining an abandoned island somewhere, which was actually a part of Fluxus' actual endeavors to occupy an island and create an artist colony there. And this particular artwork was actually an inspiration for us for a whole series of exhibitions that Imagine a Breath of Fresh Air is a part of. They have a roof topic called Islands, Possibilities of Togetherness, and they explore different ways of living together, being together, togetherness outside of the kind of neoliberal system.
The work by Czech artist Gabriela BK is based on ongoing long-term research. What Gabriela shows here in the exhibition is a site-specific made map written directly on the wall and on the floor, showing the important keywords and keystones of our planetary society, showing also the historical dead ends and possible outcomes for what can happen in the future. It is partly history-based, but also partly speculative as for what is going to happen. And in the spatial installation that goes alongside this mind map, there are 2 prototypes of possible needed tools for one of the versions of the futures that she imagines. It is a prototype of a vermipack. The vermipack might be the way of giving back the nutrients to the soil in a post-apocalyptic world where the soil is no longer able to grow anything. And the seed bank created out of seeds that Gabriela picked over time is in a shape and a form that might be able to survive possible apocalypse happening around the world if it's buried deep enough in the ground.
In terms of traveling through time and these time zones and inspirations, the exhibition also offers juxtapositions, for instance, of a modernist artwork by Romanow, a Polish author, which is kind of imagining a bright, better future, and then a very recent artwork by the Hungarian artist Fridvalszki, which combines his inspiration in modernist visions and aesthetics, but also more of a criticism of the contemporary state, which seems a bit hopeless, but there is this energy of transmission or transformation inspired by both getting high in terms of an altered state of consciousness, but also possibly traveling into the space or into the future of ourselves or the planet or other systems.
Where once there were the scars of drag nets and saltwater deserts, there are now vast underwater forests teeming with life.
Another very classical work for the exhibition, or key work for the exhibition, is a video installation by Superflux, which is a kind of futurist design center, imaginary center, artist collective based in London. And their work, which is called The Seas Are No Longer Dying, is looking into this kind of techno-optimist, techno-positive future where the seas with all the already extinct species in about 30 years from now are turning into place where kelp is grown and where the seaweeds kind of make another industry nutritioning the humankind.
And also the newly created artwork titled Cherry Colored Dream by Ondřej Trhoň and Nela Pietrova brings interesting possibility for the visitors to literally browse through various options of our and imaginary reality.
Right now we are in upper space of Galeria Studio, where we continue our narration, but we look more towards nature and the vision of the future, which are based on going back to the nature and somehow also skipping our civilization and trying to find new ways of building our reality. We have here two works by Polish artists, Lelonek and Kinga Kiełczyńska. Diana's works are recent. One video is a recent work made 2020 in a time of pandemic, where she builds this vision of what will happen with art world and cultural workers when the reality of existing changes and we cannot function as we are functioning right now, and we as art people, art workers, start to go back to nature and change our focus on, for instance, planting some vegetables or using gallery space for some vegetables and other plants.
Droga Diano, bardzo przepraszam za brak kontaktu. Piszę w odpowiedzi na Twojego maila odnośnie planowanej wystawy w Muzeum Sztuki Współczesnej. Szczerze mówiąc, już mi się nie chce. Chciałabym zanurzyć się w trawie, leżeć i słuchać żab.
Kinga Kiełczyńska, on the other hand, also thinks about our future, but in a context that the nature takes the civilization over and the nature swallows all the inventions of our civilization and it builds like a new nature-dominated environment.
The work behind me, for instance, by the Czech artist Eva Jaroňová, is really this place where the roots of humans are already taken over by the roots of nature, and then the humans are actually a nutrient for this new world to come.
There was no point in measuring temperatures or scanning the face of the world anymore. The figures developed a life of their own, refusing to participate.
The work by the Czech collective BCAA System from 2019 titled No One is an Island is a short movie creating imaginary world where something happened and the survivors traveling throughout the newly created landscape are searching for the way to face the new reality, to shape their relationships in a way that is needed for the time being, but there is no sense of danger or disaster or sadness. It's a more of a poetic musing about finding the new way of sharing the living space and the situation they find themselves in.
There is also an interesting dialogue between the works of Maja Smrekar, a Slovenian artist, and Adéla Součková, who both look into traditions, traditional stories, crafts, materials, but rework them in different ways of the now and the future. Maja Smrekar is presenting her survival kit for the Anthropocene, which is a kind of multi-layered backpack used in an actual performance connected to a manifesto, and it criticizes the kind of ecological tendencies that are still not radical enough, that are part of the neoliberal capitalist system, just kind of cleaning up the dirt under the carpet. While Adéla is also very much looking into national, personal, but also global myths and stories, but she is merging them and kind of putting them together with the realities of the now, which are kind of up to destroying our future, such as bird flight and the flight of airplanes and related kind of mythologies and stories or fortune tellings that can be related to these phenomena.
So as was already said, although the exhibition is kind of divided into these two thematic lines, the techno-optimistic and the back to the nature, there are many ways how these two scenarios can actually merge. For that we also present some artists in both floors, like the British artist Seana Gavin, who works with collages and creates kind of imaginary landscape combining past, future visions, but also completely science fiction visions. The last series of works we are presenting in the show is a series of drawings by Suzanne Treister, who combines a techno-optimistic and quite esoteric or mythological approach, and who is inviting us to a journey outside of this earth towards cosmos and to imagine futures that can be really very rich in different life forms and different forms of cultures.